welcome everyone wherever you are in the world. And we are here to engage in the I Am a Global Champion international speaking event. And it brings me great pleasure to be here with some powerful voices. My name is Enolia Foti, and I'm here hosting this with my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Krisztina Konya. So Krisztina, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, hi everyone. It's a pleasure. It's really amazing to have all of you with us today. I'm really happy and honored. And I would love to thank Enolia that we were able to put this I Am a Global Champion speaking event together once again. It's been a year since we had the first one, and it's a day of celebration. And again, it's 13th of October. It's a Friday. For me, this is a very special day. I love 13th Fridays. So I believe that this event is going to be really amazing, and we are going to touch hearts of many. So welcome all of you.
And we would like to share with you that we did this very purposefully, because 13 is a divine number, but it's also the divine feminine number. Okay, with 13 moons, and I could continue on with all of the special things about 13. But we also purposely chose this day with this topic to talk about the divine feminine, because women have a lot to share and have a lot to say. And this is our opportunity for you to engage in listening to some powerful speeches and some powerful voices, and to understand that what we say needs to be heard. So with that, I will default to Krisztina.
I would love to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Enolia Foti, who is an esteemed international speaker. She is a global influencer, a social entrepreneur, a conscious transformational coach, and an author. And she embodies the essence of wisdom and expression. Her journey is a perfect fusion of corporate expertise and a profound understanding of various global traditions, which I learned from her. Through her born gift of oration, she can do it like no one else. She ignites the flame of motivation and inspiration within others, propelling them towards their own aspiration. With a diverse and vast knowledge, including insights from the Indigenous elders, Dr. Enolia teaches ancient wisdom to uplift souls and foster empowerment. Her teachings span from ancient practices to contemporary insights, creating a comprehensive reservoir of enlightenment. In addition to her extensive accomplishments, Dr. Enolia Foti holds a doctorate in international peace and serves as the Director of Operations for Vision Africa Development. With a profound dedication to empowering and transforming lives, Dr. Enolia stands as a testament to the potential of the human spirit and the impact of ancient wisdom in the contemporary world. It is my great pleasure and honor to call her not just my mentor, but my good friend. So we would love to welcome first on our platform, Dr. Enolia Foti.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Oh my goodness. I truly am grateful and humbled. I thought long and hard about what it was that I wanted to represent here today as it pertains to the woman. We as women have so much to offer and so much to bring forward to the world. We are the core and we are the hearts of the home. We are the core and the hearts and minds of our families, our children, our partners. When we step forward, we are the ones that cultivate the strength, the motivation, the power, the seeds of that which everyone draws from. And when I thought about how to best represent the woman, I wanted to represent the voice of the voiceless. And so I went on a search. How do I represent the voice of the voiceless? And I stumbled on a project called the ReDress Project. It was something that touched so near and dear to my heart, and I'd like to introduce it to you. The ReDress Project is a project that focused on the issue of missing or murdered Aboriginal women. And it originated in Canada by a woman named Jamie Black. It was an art project based on the aesthetic response to a critical national issue. That issue is that it is a reminder of the staggering number of women who are no longer with us. It originated and started in Canada to represent the Aboriginal women, but I feel that it represents us all. The artist, Jamie Black, from the Anishinaabe Nation, is part Native and Finnish. And what she did is that she felt inclined to create a symbol for the voiceless. And that symbol is a red dress. And how she leveraged and utilized that symbol is that she took donated red dresses as she hung them from the trees, scattered throughout, so that when one passes, they see the dress represented on the tree. But then the question formulated in their minds, what's this all about? Each one of those dresses represents a voice. Each one of those dresses represents a human being that is not occupying that dress. This art installation spurred the question, why are those red dresses hanging there? And when answered, it represents all of those women who are missing, who were not looked for, who were not important enough to be somebody's top priority, whose issues and circumstances weren't important enough because of the class the person came from, or the village, who weren't important enough to deem their situation, their circumstance, their survival, their loss, in the end, to be found. Women are trafficked. They are raped. They are murdered. Women go missing every single day. And for every hour that we count, and if there was a ticker going off, someone would be deemed missing for every moment, for all the days, for the weeks, for the months, for the years. One of the things I wanted to glean was, do we know how many women are actually missing? How many Aboriginal women are actually missing? How many Indigenous women are actually missing? We as women overall stand for something so important. We bring forward life. Through us comes life. What greater honor is there to have than to bring forward that to recreate? What greater honor is it to know that as a matriarch of the family, that we and our stream of influence is some of the most meaningful things that could ever take place. And when we come together, how powerful we truly are. But because there is nothing that recognizes that these women have been disappearing, that these women had a voice, that these women should be recognized. So I share and I ask, use the red dress, an empty red dress, anybody's red dress, as a reminder and a symbol that we remember you, those who are missing, those whose voices have been silenced, those who are no longer heard, those who are still trying to survive the circumstances, those who just barely made it, but nobody knows their story. Those who are dealing with the gender biases, those who are dealing with whatever circumstance there is. We remember you, we acknowledge you, and we stand with you as a voice for the voiceless. So if you are doing an event, if you are doing something that acknowledges the woman, remember the Red Dress Project. Remember that it stands for women. It stands for the voice of the voiceless. It stands for us. It stands for the child. It stands for the elderly. Voiceless has no class. Voiceless has no category of youth or adult or elder. When you are missing, you are missing. And we need to acknowledge these women. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enolia, for sharing about the ReDress project. It is really, really important for us to get the message out there in the world and to let people know about what's going on really on our world. And thank you so much for the insights what you shared with us. I would love to ask you if someone would be interested or wants to help in ReDress project, where they can find you, how they can reach you, how they can support best the project.
That's a great question. So first of all, it is originally held by the Native Nations. And Native Hope is one of the foundations that holds the Red Dress Project very near and dear to their hearts. So the Native Hope Foundation is where I would actually begin. But to make the statement and to make the stand, all you need is a handful of red dresses. Have them hanging, whether it's on the wall, wherever you deem it appropriate, and let the people ask the question and have the conversation. And that is the most important aspect of it all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Enolia.
Thank you, Krisztina. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Akleema Ali. She hails from Trinidad and Tobago. Akleema is a Reiki master, teacher, and practitioner living in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. She is the owner of the Reiki Lighthouse and is passionate about educating people in Caribbean about Reiki, which is a Japanese method for stress reduction and promoting peace within oneself. Akleema is a professional member of the International Center for Reiki Training. the Reiki Healing Association, and the Center for Reiki Research. Akleema enjoys speaking on women's health and healing issues and women's empowerment, and is also a motivational speaker for children. She was also one of the winners of the Top 10 Energy Healers of 2022, awarded by the Healing Magazine in France. You can visit her website and her social media for free resources on Reiki at the Reiki Lighthouse. And it's actually the Reiki Lighthouse. That's a double T at the end of that, .com. And that is the same on Instagram and Facebook. Her presentation to us today, Recognizing Your Power. We welcome Akleema Ali to our platform.
Thank you so much for always a kind introduction. So today, I am going to use my 9 minutes to speak about recognizing your power. Now, of course, I am not going to start with any boring definition of power. To me, when I sat with the word power, this is what came up to me. Power for me represents passion and purpose. It also represents organization and having your own. W for woman and world. E for engaging and enterprising. And R for rest and recharge. So how do you recognize your power? By asking yourself the following question. Now, each letter has a question for you to reflect on. And of course, these are questions that we can ask our fellow women when we need to get them to have their light that may be dim to shine a bit brighter every day. Towards purpose and passion, we ask, what gives you your highest excitement? At any point in time along your life journey, this is something you can reflect on. Is it just seeing about your kids, your children, doing daily chores? Is your highest excitement empowering women and educating others so that they can live to their full potential? Do you love exploring outdoors, getting out in nature, traveling, gardening? Or does your highest excitement reside in charity work and networking? These are a few examples. So ask yourself today, what truly gives you your highest excitement? When you look at the word for O, organization and own, ask yourself this. Do you know where you belong? Sometimes along our life journey, we move from different friends, different agencies, even different countries and places to truly find a space where we can fully express ourselves and be free to be our true nature. We belong in places where not only we can awaken our inner power, but where we can contribute and find places so that others can grow and be free to express themselves. We women belong in places where we can honor our story, where we are able to express and share our story without limitation, express our strengths and also the lessons we have all learned along the way on our life's path. We belong in places where we can teach others a skill and empower women to truly know that they are capable of more. We belong in places when we recognize our own power to offer service to others, offer service to humanity, volunteer your time, effort, resources, finances, advice, counseling, whatever you can give to benefit another human being, by all means give. And if you still struggle to find out where you belong, we can never unrecognize the fact that there are random acts of kindness that you can do at any point in time. Random acts of kindness are quite powerful. Whether it is a smile, a kind word, advice, random acts of kindness to people sends out a ripple energy into the world, by all means will come back magnified, not just to you, but everyone else in ways we cannot comprehend. Moving on to W, woman and world. Ask ourselves this: are we making ourselves available for those who need us? And who needs us? Everyone. Everyone needs us. The abused, traumatized, hurt, broken, wounded. They all need us. And we have been in these places, and therefore we know what these people need. Women need to be financially dependent. There are women who need to upgrade their skills and education. They need to be aware of what is available in the world today. And sometimes they need a little encouragement to be brave and step forward to where they need to be. There are some women in the world who just need help with basic supplies. Where is the next meal coming from? Where can they get medical assistance? And there are women who want to grow their own food and provide for their families. Is there an existing shelter or home or even a religious institution that exists? How can we make ourselves available so the people using these agencies are comfortable? Are they looking for Wi-Fi devices? Are they looking for clean, purified running water? Are they looking for heating equipment? Are they looking to redo electrical so that all can benefit? You need to ask yourselves what little you can do to be able to maximize the comfort level of those using the agencies. And many times as women, we would realize, especially as we get older, we will find ourselves, our family members and fellow women in places of great distress and suffering, and you will find themselves asking you, can you please just say a prayer for me? Could you please sit and pray for me so I would be relieved of whatever suffering I am going through? So by all means, wherever you can extend yourself, are you making yourself available for those who need you? E, engaging and enterprising. How can we engage women to reframe their lives, share their stories, and honor their life journey? And by all means, we would realize in the year 2023, our ancestors did not have this facility. Our ancestors have stories that we don't know their stories. Their stories have been untold. Their stories have been suppressed. And therefore, we encourage women today to honor their life, share on digital platforms, and engage in different types of physical and virtual community forums. By all means, WhatsApp is a very powerful way for women to remain connected, engaged, motivated, and also reach out to people in need. Book clubs are another example. Health and wellness activities, whether it is virtual or physical, hamper drives, workshops, and seminars. By all means, we have all been a place where we need to recognize our own power because we are all powerful. And when we reach to a point when we realize that we are quite powerful beings, what we really want is to also, for the woman next to us, to realize they are also powerful. The much neglected letter of R, rest and recharge. How can we encourage women to rest, recharge, and restore our soul? How can we encourage women to honor their physical bodies, which we very much take for granted? How can we encourage women to create and find sanctuary where they can heal? How can we encourage women at each stage of their lives to learn how to live their life differently? And by all means, we need to encourage women to create a new culture and belief system that goes beyond the belief that we need to be just superwomen and heroes and run our bodies to exhaustion. Those are old beliefs. we need to encourage women to participate more in retreats, meditation, and different types of wellness events. So by all means, this is how you begin to recognize your power. And this is how you begin to reflect on and also ask these questions to fellow women so they can awake the inner power that resides in them. So at any point in time, ask yourself, what gives you your highest excitement? Do you know where you belong? Are we making ourselves available for those who need us? How can we engage women to reframe their lives, share and honor their stories, and honor their life journey? And lastly, how can we encourage women to rest and recharge? So by all means today, I encourage each one of you, recognize your power. And when you do that, encourage the woman next to you to also recognize theirs. So thank you so much. A little bit about me. I am Akleema Ali. I live in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And as the slide says, I am everything Reiki. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akleema. Thank you so much for the sharing. You have brought up really, really meaningful points in your presentation. I love your title, Recognizing Your Power, because this is what we do. We don't do actually. We do not recognize that we are all powerful. So I think that many of us, either you are listening now or later, can learn a lot from what you just shared with us today. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say something briefly. Part of recognizing your power is also linked to Enolia's speech, where so many voices of women go unheard. All our ancestors, their voices are unheard. All the missing women, their stories and families suffer. And recognizing your own power is when you recognize that there's suffering in you, deep wounds that we don't acknowledge. We are able to spot those wounds in others, and we move differently so that we can honor each woman in the world, no matter what country they are in.
That's true. That's beautifully said. Like being voice for the voiceless. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Akleema. We have so much within us to share. Thank you for bringing parts of that out. Truly appreciate it. I would like to introduce next MaryAnn Namayiana from the country of Kenya. A community leader, MaryAnn Namayiana is a masterful traditional beadwork artisan dedicated to preserving her cultural heritage. She is also the founder of the Bead Project, a transformative initiative that empowers women and girls in Kenya's marginalized Loita region. Recognizing the multifaceted challenges faced by these women, including limited opportunities, property rights, and inadequate access to education and healthcare, MaryAnn envisioned a scholastic foundation and tailored to their needs. The Bead Project offers education, vocational training, income-generating initiatives, reproductive health services, and advocacy against harmful practices. In a patriarchal society where women and children shoulder heavy responsibilities, perpetuating poverty, isolation, and vulnerability, MaryAnn's initiatives provides a lifeline. It directly supports those in need, including young single mothers facing societal stigma and discrimination. Through the Bead Project, MaryAnn Namayana's unwavering commitment leads to profound change in her community. Her indomitable spirit, demonstrates that even small contributions can create a brighter future for the women and girls of Boita. Her presentation today, Empowering Maasai Women Through Beadwork and Changing Lives Through Education. We welcome MaryAnn to our international platform.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. I'm Namayiana from Kenya, from Lela, Maasai land. The topic for today for me is empowering women through beadwork and education. Okay, I started a project which has benefited the Maasai women both socially and economically. Economically, in a way that they are able to be empowered to earn their own income, to eradicate poverty, and also to change the standard of living of their families. Many have invested in their children's education and build houses for their families. The social impact is reflected in that weaker members have become stronger and now are able to complete designs and patterns. The ladies create bracelets, bags, wallets, card holders, laptop bags, and also many other items. The vision for our project is to have the best quality products which come from Kenya, the Maasai ladies, and increase more other things of other practices which will enable them to go on, like education. Education is the key to life. And once girls get educated, they will come to help their mothers, their brothers, and maybe the other people in the family. And once through that education, we can get teachers, we can get pilots, and other people, and other great people in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, MaryAnn. I have to say, I'm really honored that you are here with us today. I have to recognize and say it out loud in front of everybody. You are a role model in your community. You are a role model for the Maasai people, and you are a role model for the women and girls on Loita Plain, because you give voice to the women who don't have a voice. You bring them together. You advocate for education, and I really admire your courage for doing so. And I would love to thank you for sharing all that you shared with us today. I encourage you, everyone who's listening, if you would love to know more about the Maasai community, about the Bead Project, then you can always reach out to us or to MaryAnn. So I would love to thank you once again for being here today.
I would also like to echo that I met MaryAnn, and when I met her, her warmth and her smile, everything just filled my heart. And we don't realize that even when you only see one face, behind MaryAnn stands so many women who work hard every single day. And the beautiful jewelry that she's wearing to do the beading that they do is representative of so much. So when we go out and we support people like MaryAnn, we are supporting her whole community, not just one individual. And you have to know that that's what stands before you. So again, thank you, MaryAnn, for all that you bring and for all that you do for the women of your village. I would like to introduce to you Lela Greenough, hailing from New York in the United States of America. Lela is the owner and founder of Virtual Healing with Lela. Lela helps individuals through wellness analysis and application without furthering dis-ease through conscious awareness. Lela is a Reiki master and trained in various healing techniques. Lela delivers long-distance Reiki to her clients all over the world. Lela also brings in-depth knowledge of herbs to complement and heal the physical body. Lela helps individuals integrate emotional and physical shifts through her knowledge of food. Her mantra is, "Let food be thy medicine," as stated by Hippocrates. Her presentation, Domestic Violence, My Story with It, and How I Left It. We welcome Lela Greenough to our international platform.
Thank you, Enolia and Krisztina. So, domestic violence is very steeped in my family. I was born into that. I believe I even experienced it in the womb. So it became normal for me. It became so normal that when I dated people that treated me badly. I didn't know that it was wrong. I didn't know that it was that hurtful, because it was something that I lived with on a daily basis. To me, it was normal. I thought everybody lived like that. And when I got older and I married a man that was very violent, I stayed for 10 years. He was violent prior to being married to him, and he was violent through the whole 10 years of marriage until I finally left. I suffered a lot of very horrible things that were done to me. And one day I had a dream. I had a dream that I was in a casket and he was nailing the top on it and smiling. And I thought to myself, I can't let this happen. I have kids. I have 3 little girls. I can't just let this happen, and what's going to happen to them? So I made a plan. I made a plan to get away. I sent myself through college because I went to the 10th grade. So I didn't have a high school education. I didn't have a diploma from high school. So therefore I couldn't get into college. I took my GED. I signed up and applied to college. It was a 2-year technical school. I got loans and grants so that I could attend because we were poor. And I knew that I had to have a way to take care of my kids on my own. So I worked hard in college. I got my degree. I think I stayed a year after I graduated. And my sister had called my mom and told her what was happening. And my mom called me and told me that I needed to come home. And I was afraid to go, but I was also afraid to leave. And there was something within me that said, you need to go, and you need to go now. So I made all the appropriate arrangements for my 2 oldest girls who were in school about transferring them. And I asked them, please don't say anything to my kids. Don't, because nobody knows I'm leaving. So the key to getting away is making a plan and have people involved in that you can trust. We think that we're supposed to stay there and it's going to be better for our kids and they need a dad and all of this other stories that we play in our heads. But the only thing that does is make that cycle keep going through families. So when I left and I healed myself, I was able to heal the generations behind me that suffered that kind of life. And it helped the generations that will come after me. So as my children, my grown adult daughters learn, because they've been in abusive situations and relationships and marriages as well. Some are still there. But as they go through this and they learn and they see what they can be and can have, there will be a time in their lives where they'll get that thought process in their heads that say, I don't have to do this anymore. I can have better. And it is scary. And a lot of women, they go back. I didn't go back, but I did let him move up where I live. And it lasted 10 days. And I said, I can't, this is not what I want. I cannot do this. So there's a lot of healing there. There's a lot of healing that I had to do for myself. And it took me a long time to get there because I didn't know how damaged I was. And probably within the last 15 years is when I did most of my healing. I have learned through all of this that when you have a relationship with someone, you have to make sure that you do your healing because you don't want to bleed all over somebody else that did not cut you. And that's what was happening in my past relationships. I was bleeding all over everyone and they never did anything to me. So when I started healing myself, my relationships became much more healthier, not only with men that I dated, but also family and friends. And I learned how to see different behaviors in people and how to navigate that because we're all wounded. Each and every one of us is wounded. Some of us are wounded more than others, but we are able to heal that with the appropriate ways, different things that you can do, mantras, meditation, energy work, shamanic work. There's all kinds of ways to heal the traumas that we've been through as women. And it's not just women that get abused, men get abused too. You don't hear about it as much, but I know that it happens. So we can heal from this and we can come back from this and we can teach our children about this in a way that isn't terrifying, in a way that they will be able to understand it and see the different behaviors and triggers with people and things like that. So today, I'm a healthy 59-year-old woman that, yes, there are some boundaries that I have to set with people, and with other people, I do not, because I totally trust them. So I've healed a lot of damage in my life. And a lot of that has to do with the people that I have surrounded myself with. People like Enolia, the classes that I have taken with her, and the women's empowerment, Sweat Lodge, which is Native American. It's about purification. So there's many roads to be able to heal yourself. Pick one, get on it, stay on it, do your work and heal yourself so that you can make the world a better place. So I thank you, ladies, for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Lela. I appreciate you and I see you. And I would love to acknowledge your courage for daring to share your story, because your story can be an inspiration for others who might be in the same situation like you were in a domestic violence, in a toxic relationship, in domestic violence. And by you sharing the story and how you overcome it, and look at you, the beautiful, strong woman you are today, sharing and inspiring others. It's just an inspiration. So I would love to thank you for being here with us today and sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And Lela, one question that I would like to ask you to just share with us would be, if someone was teetering on that precipice right now, right at this moment, leave or not leave, leave or not leave, what would you say to them right at this moment?
I would tell them to leave. Find a friend to go and stay with, find a family member to go and stay with, take whatever you can gather up and go, and don't look back. There's all kinds of programs out there for women to be safe, but we think that when they say, oh, I'm sorry, I won't ever do that again, and please come back, it's a cycle. So if you look at a clock and you look at midnight or 12 noon, everything's great. And then you get around to 3 o'clock and it starts with the arguing. And then at 6 o'clock, it's that poking and prodding at you and shoving you. And at 9 o'clock, it's full blown domestic violence where you're getting beaten. And then back at midnight or noon, it's that honeymoon period where I'm really sorry and I'll never do it again. And I never noticed that until I went to a women's shelter and went through their courses about the cycle of domestic violence. So we don't, when we're right in it, we can't see it. We have to remove ourselves from that situation and seek out places where we can go to be safe, and people who know that cycle of domestic violence so that they can help you go through that. And like I said, I would have never known that that cycle worked that way because I was right in the middle of the storm. I couldn't see it. So once I got out of it and I moved away, and I even my kids went. Kids need to go too, because there's all kinds of counseling there for them. When you leave that situation and you put yourself into one of these shelters for women, they teach you the cycles of violence and what happens not only to you, but also to your children. We think that when we say we're doing our kids a favor, and we're not. You're just breeding it more and more and more and more through generations. So once you get out of it and you learn all about it and you see the little signs that go on, you say, ah, yeah, I know this. And you're able to move, say, that not for me. So it's a very heavy thing in a lot of families.
Thank you so much for expanding on that. We truly appreciate your story.
Well, I hope that by sharing my story, that it helps millions of women out there to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. I hold more value than the treatment that I'm receiving here. Don't be afraid to go. We're all worthy of being treated well. We're all worthy of love, and we're all worthy of being safe and protected.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.